So the goal of this class is to get the creative juice going. It's not meant to, to be some very fancy class, but rather just to get the creative juice going and have some fun in the process. Okay, so it's, as I said, it's for all levels. So some will be simple, some exercises will be simple, and some exercises will be more complex. But I wanted to show you a quick video of painting of a drawing that I did, just to give you an idea, not that of what we're going to do, but just to give you an idea of how fun it could be to draw. So this is just 30 seconds, and I'm going to draw this little martini glass that you see in the background, and I'm just going to run it now. It'll run very fast. See how quickly I can draw? Isn't this cool though, the process of being able to show drawing a whole glass in just 30 seconds.
It did not come through for me,
Yeah,
Claire.
I'm sorry, I didn't see anything, Claire.
Same here.
Ah,
Yeah.
so I'm the only one who sees it. Okay. I think that I forgot one more step. And that is, forgot to share my screen. That would help. Sorry about that.
There we go.
Thank you for telling me. All right, so we're gonna go again. So this is, you probably can see the martini glass now?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a drawing of this martini glass right here that you can see in the background. Now, as I'm drawing it, I'm standing a little higher, so the opening will be a little bit bigger. So the angle, but anyway, this is just a 30-second video of drawing the martini glass. So I can see the process. First I do the contour, and then when the contour is done, then I indicate the background, the tone of the background. Then I go into the detail of, the foot, and then inside the oval, and then I will do the glass. Voila. So, I mean, I'm not saying we're going to do this in class, but it's just to show you, how much fun it could be to draw. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing. Still trying to figure out how to do everything here. Okay. Okay, here we go. Someone is calling me as I'm having difficulty. I wanted to start now with talking a little bit about the supplies. So for this class, I told you that you'd need an 4H, an HB, and also a 4B pencil. So I have my little pencil box here that I want to show to you. So this little pencil box is like this. It goes from 4H right on this side to 6B on this side. Now I'm not saying you need this, but having one pencil that's 4H, H stands for hard, means that it's going to be light when you draw with it. And I said HB, which is the regular pencil that we always use in school, in little school or high school. And then a 4B, which is on this side. B is for bold. It will give you a very dark mark. So on a box like this, you can see here, all the reading is, it goes from 9B to 9H, and it gives the darkness of it. So the B's are very dark at the top here, and goes to HB, and then very light at the bottom with H's. So I'm gonna mute you guys back because I'm hearing some background noise. Okay, so with this, I'm going to share my screen one more time. But this time, I'm going to share this. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Very good, thank you.
Yep, I can see it.
All right. I'm having difficulties with this too. Technical difficulties. All right. So this here is a drawing that I did, and it shows how 4H is very light, HB is the mid-tone, and 4B is very dark. And I went from light to dark for each pencil. So I went with the lightest that I could do at the top, and I went all the way down to the darkest I could do at the bottom. So from light to dark, this is the 4H on the left, the HB in the middle, and the 4B on the right. So if I were to press the hardest, which each pencil, a 4H will give me this, this light gray, and HB will give me pretty dark, but a 4B will give me the darkest. What I would like to do now is, I'm going to stop sharing, is give you 5 minutes, and hoping that you have those pencils. So in your sketchbook, take 5 minutes and try those pencils that you have. So if you have like a whole box, you can try them all. But if you have just you know, the 3 that I gave you, then you can just do like I did, and just try these 3. So this little road that you can see, this simple little landscape that has 2 little mountains in the background. Well, the focus here is the road, and how on this drawing, the road is the same width at the bottom and at the top and throughout. So this road here that we see here it looks a little funny, because even though it's supposed to go backwards and way in the distance, I made it the same width. And I did this on purpose, because then I wanted to show you side by side, you know, this on the left here is the one where the road is the same width the whole way. And on the right-hand side, it goes from very skinny in the background, and it goes towards wider in the foreground. Look how much of a difference it makes to have the foreground, the road in the foreground, be a much wider version of the road. And immediately we can feel that the road goes way in the distance in this one. Whereas on this example, the one on the left, because it's the same width, it almost looks like the road is right here, even the background part of it, just because it's still very wide in the background. So to indicate distance and depth in a landscape, it's always a good idea to keep in mind that the road that you're standing on will look a certain width if you were to stand right here in the front. But when you look at it in the distance, it will go and lose itself and go very, very skinny. So when you're doing a drawing of a landscape, be it a road or a river, if the road or the river is approximately the same width throughout, then always remember that the front will be wider. And then when it goes at the distance, it will be thinner. So now I'm going to leave this, this little drawing on display and give you a little bit of time to try and reproduce it in your book. So I'll give you, let's say I give you 10 minutes. And if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. So note how the horizon line is about 2/3 up. It's not in the middle of the page. It's 2/3 up. And the road is very wide in the front, and it goes to very skinny and nothing towards the back.
I have a question.
Yes.
Should I do the lines on the horizon and then fill it in, or should I do as I fill the?
That's a good question. You know what? I'm going to stop sharing and do an example of this little landscape. So I'm going to do it in my book, so you'll see how I proceed. I'm going to turn this towards my book right here. The book is actually here. Okay. I'm going to demonstrate. Oh, look at this. This is a great subject matter, this apple, but we're not going to do it in this class. All right. So in order to do this little landscape that I was showing you, okay, the format is a landscape format, meaning it's wider than the height. So if it were a portrait format, it would be taller than the width. But in this case, we have this format, which is landscape format. So the horizon line is about 1/3 down. So the middle of my paper is about here. So 1/3 down will be approximately here. You don't have to measure it. And once you have the horizon line, you can just indicate it like this. I'm gonna leave this here. And then you can draw your road. The road that I have, it goes from the left. It just goes like this, like backwards C. And then the other side of the road. Oh, can you see this? Oh, hold on a minute. I need to change lighting just to make sure I can see this better. So, all right. So the backwards C, I'm going to start again and do it a little darker. This is one side, and the other side goes like this. Now we have the wider part of the road at the bottom. It's actually, I just remembered now, this part, it actually comes down to here. Okay. So now I have my road and I have my horizon line. I'm going to indicate this mountain here on the right. It just goes like this. This is the mountain that's in the front. And then I have my mountain in the back that goes more like, it's a little higher, more like this. So now I have all the elements to fill it in. This mountain here in the back is darker because it's the one on front. So I'm just gonna this is my HB pencil, and I'm just filling in this. So my HB, and with my kneaded eraser, I can remove the contour that I had, because that I had drawn. I can erase some of those lines. There. And this mountain, which is on the left, is a little backward, like further away, so it'll be a little lighter. So you can make it lighter by using a 4/8 if you have one, or just using the HB. So I'm using my 4H. And once you have filled it in, then you want to erase the contour, because otherwise it's going to look like it's been pasted. So you just, with a kneaded eraser, you can erase with it, or a regular eraser, or you can just tap to remove the line. And I'm using, oops, my HB here at the bottom. Make it just a little darker here at the bottom. Now with my 4H, I'm going to start with the 4H in the very background to do the grass on either side of the road. So with my 4H, start very light in the background. And as I'm coming forward, the grass should get a little darker. I'm still using the 4H. But now with the HB, I'm going to go on top of 4H to make it darker at the bottom, closer to the viewer. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side.
I'm sorry, did you say you were using the 4H to make it darker on the bottom?
The 4H, H stands for hard.
Yep.
So that means that it leaves less lead on the paper, so it's lighter. So 4H, I use the 4H for the background. As I'm coming down, I continue with the 4H, but I use the HB, which is darker. Back to this here. So this is 4H, and the middle one is HB. So the 4H will always be lighter, even if I press really hard like here, than the HB.
Okay.
That's a very good
Thank you.
question. So just to continue my demonstration. I'm going to put it sideways just because my easel makes it easier. And with my HB, go here at the bottom. And I could even use my 4B to make it even darker here at the bottom. Just the bottom. And with the kneaded eraser, the great thing about the kneaded eraser is you don't have to necessarily move it. You can just press. You can mold it in any shape you want, and you can just press to make it lighter. So I'm going to show you closer. See, over here, I just pressed and it went lighter, just a tad. So if I were to do the demonstration with the kneaded eraser, if I were to press here, see what happens? Sometimes you just want to remove a little bit, and you can with the kneaded eraser. The great thing with this is you can basically mold it in any shape you need, and almost draw with it. So now I'm removing those very dark lines that I had made, otherwise my creek or road looks pasty. It looks pasted, sorry. There, this is better. All right, so I'm going to show my drawing. Actually, you can look at this one as the example, I guess. Any other questions? So I'll give you about 10 minutes to at least start your drawing. And during that time, if you have any questions, please let me know.